I've been always passionate about food and cooking, and it hits me very differently. I think the way food unites, and no energy or nothing in this world can do it. God's been kind. The traction around Oye Kake even before building it up, because one thing I was a good marketer. I knew how to do marketing.
Your biggest blunder became your biggest strength now.
So I've realized, when you keep things simple, right? When it's rooted, it's not difficult to be consistent every day, and I think that is what has worked. North India has two versions of food. It has a commercial version of food, which people do never cook at the house, but we sell. I will do the real North India, and that's why Taftoon happened. South Indian food is very well spread globally.
It is.
The reason is, what South Indians sell what they eat. That's how Kerala Quarters happened. Regional Kerala food in a nice quarter bar setup. Let's bring this to life. Some people have rightly said, if you have an enemy and if you really want to hurt him the most, Nikhil Kamath, ask him to open a restaurant. If the reason is not passion, right?
Then
you don't have enough passion. Don't get into it, because if there's no passion, this
you
will
won't
drain
survive.
you out. I mean, the problems are endless if you put in the money. The only thing that can bring it back is the sheer performance. So don't get obsessed over it. It's no more about just selling a product, taking the money. It's about how you making that difference with your hospitality. Right? That is what's gonna make them keep coming back. Also, no, it's an industry that is never gonna die. It's F&B we are talking about, and also correct. खाना है. और लोग in India, the population is just going up. So don't worry. Every 2-3 years you have a new set of people that are coming to eat. Right? This is 2025. This is India. This is never late to open a restaurant.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Happy Hour with FinCocktail. Our guest today is the innovative mind behind Flavor Pot Foods. He immerses you in the beautiful, vibrant world of regional Indian cuisine right in the heart of Mumbai. He's Pankaj Gupta, and he's the culinary artist behind beautiful names like Oye Kake, Circa 1960, Taftoon, and Kerala Quarters. His commitment to celebrating India's rich culinary heritage has given Mumbai's dining landscape some amazing gems. And it's also given us food enthusiasts some experiences that we cannot forget. Let's welcome him. Pankaj, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Sayali.
I'm so excited to have this conversation today. So we were chatting, obviously, off camera before, but you seem to be a night owl. Is that why you moved from your corporate job to becoming a restaurateur?
Well, I am a nocturnal person. I won't lie about it. Like, I'm only caught it after 6 p.m., right? But that wasn't the reason I'm into the industry. I'm into F&B just out of sheer passion. I love food. I love how food unites people, and this, with that thought, I ventured in here. No background, no nothing. But it only helps if you're a nocturnal person, because you're not going to have early nights when you're in F&B.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the world around me telling me to sleep before 12. So I'm like, let's sleep before 12. But anyways, no, actually, I had a corporate job with Citibank.
I was at City too.
Yeah?
Really?
Nice. Which one? You must have never seen me. You know why? Because I joined the rat race of getting placed from the campus. And straight after that, I got in the induction, 3-day induction, 4th day put my papers. Like,
no.
Cannot do this. I did never. Actually, it doesn't count. I visited the office, but I never actually joined the office. Let me put it that way.
Interesting.
4th day it was out. I was like, nahi ho payega. And then, in fact, next 2 days, I was out in Amritsar straight.
Directly?
Yeah, because I knew, I want to get into. I'd been to Amritsar some years back, before this happened in 2011. So 2008 I was in Amritsar, and something has happened. I'm a very spiritual guy, and then I can spiritually connect to the building, right? So I just connected to the Darbar Sahib building over there, and then one day I'll just make this place more meaningful to me. And that's how I went to Amritsar State after dropping the Citibank job, spent 3 months over there, and then back with Oye Kake.
Wow, that's incredible. And that was what, 14 years ago?
14 years ago.
That's a long journey to be in the restaurant business.
Yeah, you're making me sound old now.
No, I'm just saying that you've done a good job and you've done it consistently for so long.
Yeah, the question is how long we'll do it now. How many more years to it? Yeah, but it's fun.
I hope many, many more, because your restaurants are great.
Thanks. You know what? Thanks.
It's true, I'm not lying. I love Oye Kake food. You had this like whole breakfast series that kind of got launched in the
Ah,
middle, and
that
I
is
was like
insane.
to die for. I was so happy.
Insane, yeah. I mean, there is no North Indian breakfast. Like when we say breakfast, automatically our mind is programmed. Idli, dosa, sambar ends there. I mean, I love it. But where
Hey, and
is?
Misar in Maharashtra, but okay.
Oh yes, misal. No, I've grown up among Maharashtrians,
Of
so
course.
misal is actually part of my house thing once a week.
Yeah, na?
Yeah, it
Same.
has to be.
Has to be. उसके बिना तो नहीं होगा.
Yeah. So now, yeah, that was it. Citibank happened. Not actually happened, but just happened like
Yeah.
3-day induction. I don't know if that counts. I keep correcting people. Listen, I did not. I had a job, but I was never part of the corporate world. Right?
Yeah.
Do I regret that? No. I'm glad I moved out
Okay.
because I'm in touch with some people who stayed.
See, that's good.
Yeah.
At least you did your networking bit.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. The money comes from there.
Nice. So then that's how Oye Kake happened, that you went to Amritsar, you got inspired, came back here and decided that this is my calling.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, without any, no experience in the business, no godfather in the business, without knowing the depth of the ditch, and just dive in, and that's how I just dived in. All I had was 4 chefs from Amritsar
Oh, wow.
who did not speak Hindi, leave anything else, right? They
Punjabi
only talk
bolte the.
straight Amritsar Punjabi,
Arey.
and who refuse to work. Like it's a culture in Amritsar. They don't work after 6 p.m. All
They-
these chefs and all. Yeah. These state chefs that I wanted, because I was just, okay. Also, restauranting happened accidentally. I just wanted to open like kiosks, Oye Kake, Chole Kulche. That is it. I like, boss, I cannot be a restaurateur. I'm
Okay.
not Pankaj Shetty. I'm Pankaj Gupta. So I cannot be a restaurateur. But accidentally it happened. I actually signed a place, a kiosk, and it was signed between this. Basically, I went to Amritsar, then came back after a month and signed a place, and went back to Amritsar looking for chefs, and then 2 months later came back with a team of 4 people, and then outside that kiosk, and that guy's like, hey, listen, I think I cannot do this property
Yeah.
with you. I'm like, for what? I'm like, I think I signed a really cheap deal with you. I'm like, okay, tell me your rate now. He went straight double. I'm like, okay, ab to ego hurt kar rahe ho,
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
I walked out of that place.
Okay.
And now I had these 4 people that I was paying without me making zero
Zero.
money, no job, nothing. And I'm paying these guys, right? I'm like, okay, you know what? Aap log hotel mein ruko. Let me just find a place where I can set up this kiosk.
चालू तो करे.
Yeah. And then I just came across this place in Fort.
Okay.
It was a rundown restaurant, literally. And I just saw something. It took me 5 minutes. And I've realized actually since then, whenever I do a restaurant, if in first 5 minutes I don't sign the lease, that lease is not happening. All my restaurants first 5 minutes. Yeah. As recent as we did Hyderabad, now in Oye Kake is in Hyderabad. 5 minutes. I'm doing this. Okay. I saw this space and then I'm like, you know what? I'm signing this. And then just after signing, I realized, bro, you just signed a restaurant. This is no more a kiosk. This is no more that you cannot sell chole kulche out of a 40-seater restaurant, right?
Yeah.
They're like, okay, let's do some menu engineering. And
Okay.
that is how it began. And then that is our first Oye Kake happened 14 years back.
Wow.
Yeah, like, okay, it became full. I turned some things around, painted some stuff. And then, of course, I did a lot of blunder after that also.
Okay, tell me about those blunders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you said it,
No,
yeah.
so understand, a guy who's passionate. Okay, I've been always passionate about food and cooking, and it hits
Yes.
me very differently. I think food unites, and from where I come from
It
in
does.
this life, right? Very humble beginning. I think the way food unites, and no energy or nothing in this world can do it. So coming from that school of thought, I just thought, Curlingham restaurant, and then I realized, boss, I would never advise. Just put in a nutshell, I think I was never that brave ever in my life.
Are you serious? You have walked out of your city job in 4 days. You have gone to Amritsar, decided that मैं छोले कुलचे का kiosk बनाऊंगा, and then looked at a restaurant कि नहीं, you know what, restaurant बना देते हैं, and you're telling me you're not brave.
That was the bravest me. I think I can never be that brave ever again. Ever again. The blunders you're talking about. I had no knowledge about how kitchen is set up. I got some household fridge, household gas stoves, and all of that. You don't do that. Restaurant is a different ball game. And like, okay, this kitchen is better than my mother's kitchen. At least we can
Yeah.
roll out. And then God's been kind. The traction around Oye Kake even before building it up, because one thing I was a good marketer. I knew how to do
Love it.
marketing, and I did something, because there was only one that time. We used to get water from Amritsar, because it happened for the longest time.
Oh my God, This is so true that जहाँ पे खाना बनता है, जहाँ का पानी होता है.
It's scientific
Taste
also,
different.
right? The minerals and everything is different. The river water. So no, I used to get water from Amritsar. I'm like, hey Pankaj, you don't know how to be authentic. So let's get and the chef refused. I'm like, if you don't get water from Amritsar, I'm not giving the same kulcha. I'm like, I'll get you. And I don't know, oh God. Then I used to, that mechanism was every morning 4 a.m. Golden Temple Express comes to Bombay.
Oh wow.
And then I used to wake up at 4 a.m. go take turns like me and another guy. 3 times in a week we used to get like 30-40 liters of water just to knead the dough to make kulcha. And then when the water came, these guys like, okay, now you'll get the kulcha. And it was it was better kulchas. To be all due respect to all the restaurants in Amritsar, I think we did much better kulchas here. So, but then what happened, when we had all the crowd in the first week, the kitchen collapsed because it was not meant to cater
to so many people.
It collapsed. The fridge collapsed. The gas collapsed. Everything collapsed. Like, listen, cannot happen. So restaurant was packed. There was a huge queue. This is 2011. The restaurant revolution hadn't happened.
Yeah.
The world of social media was
still
just coming up. So what worked the best was, pamphlets and then word of mouth. Hey, listen, there's a place that is getting water from Amritsar. And they're doing it damn bloody good. So let's just go. And people queued out there. And then the kitchen collapsed. Nothing was working. I'm like, okay, listen. Let's put out a fake news that, there's a huge gas leakage inside the kitchen. Because, I'm sorry, I confess. This is the first time I'm confessing you did that. And there are people waiting outside for 1 hour. Like, dude, you better have a better reason, for us to go back. Like, gas leakage, kya kar sakte hain?
Correct. Then they'll be like, oh, shit.
People had to go. We shut the restaurant for a week's time. I learned how to do kitchens, and then got a consultant on board and I engineered that kitchen. And so that is one thing that I do across all my companies. In fact, with the biggest chefs or consultants, they would come. I mean, I'm not talking great things about me, but then, now I've understood kitchens, the lay of land of kitchens so strongly. The drainage, the piping, the HVAC, the ventilation, everything, because I made that kitchen happen.
Yeah.
That is something I excel now in the company. Like, kitchen is like, it's going to be my kitchen. Like, I'll overrule the chef. Like, no, I'll tell you what kitchen works. That was the blunder I was talking about. And then, that was 2011 and now we went 2025.
Nice. So your biggest blunder became your biggest strength now.
It is actually.
Right?
Yeah, it is.
So what else do you think kind of helped you? Maybe it was a blunder in the beginning. Maybe it was just something that intuitively you had to learn. But what are some of the things that made Oye Kake kind of sustain for so long and successful for so long and in such a competitive market? Because back then, agreed, nahi tha, but 14 saal is not a small feat.
Yeah, I tell everyone, I also believe this, the last meal that is served out of a restaurant, right? Actually, the first meal that is served at a restaurant should be as good, if not better, than the last meal that is served in a restaurant, right? And then what I mean by that is we just practice consistency every single day.
And quality on top of everything.
And I like keeping things simple, in this world of experiments and experience and blah blah. I think I know what I'm doing. I'm doing Indian food, correct? And I'm not saying I'm doing a modern take on it or a progressive take on it. I am doing an Indian food, and I will stick to its root. That is keeping it simple.
Correct. मैं खाना खिलाऊंगा, अच्छा खिलाऊंगा.
So I've realized, when you keep things simple, right? When it's rooted. It's not difficult to be consistent every day, and I think that is what has worked. I did not try doing much because if I was giving an ode to Amritsar, for example, Oye Kake, right? It's Amritsar end of the day. It's this, right? What can you talk? Like, just do these 20 things that come out of Amritsar, right? And that's what I've done for the last 14 years. And if you see the menu, it's still the same menu.
Yeah. So that is how Oye Kake happened. How did Taftoon happen then? Because we've moved from now 2011, then 7 years later is when Taftoon happened, right? Because
about 2005, 6 years later,
6 years later, that's when Taftoon happened. How did that happen?
It's again, it's a result of obsession of why did Oye Kake happen? Because people had this notion about Punjabi food being non-vegetarian, right?
Yes.
And I did it vegetarian Amritsar. If you see, talk to any Punjabi or just talk to anyone, like name me 5 non-vegetarian dishes and 5 vegetarian dishes that that is Punjabi.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the knowledge will end at chicken tikka masala, butter chicken, and then
Well,
sochega kya bolu, correct? But you tell them now, name me 5 vegetarian.
yeah.
Dal makhani, paneer bhurji, aloo paratha, gobi paratha, it'll go, rajma, curry, it'll go on.
Yeah.
Because if you see, Punjabis are majorly vegetarian.
You know, I know that. So this is such a big myth that Punjabis, they eat chicken and they have alcohol. That is the myth.
I just wanted to break that, and that's why I kept it vegetarian. I'm a non-vegetarian myself, but I want to show the real Amritsar. And again, Amritsar, because of Darbar Sahib, the Golden Temple, I would say more than 75% of Amritsar is vegetarian.
It is.
They practice vegetarianism because of the Golden Temple, right? So this is me giving a note to Amritsar. So I got the real Amritsar out, right? And so, carrying on to Taftoon, when 6 years did Oye Kake, it's time to move on. Now people started talking about North Indian food. Again, that stereotype, North India, for them, like, kya hai North Indian food? Same dal makhani, butter chicken, Delhi, Punjab, correct? Then I tell them, then where is Kashmir in your head? If that is North Indian Delhi, Kashmir
not part only of North.
And where is West Bengal, Northwest, Northeast, kahan par hai? Yeah, so I realized this is the problem. And I come from UP, Banaras. Where are all those dishes? Like, I'm a North Indian myself, right? But why is it when you go to metro cities of India and you talk North Indian food, your knowledge ends there, you know, at the curries and naans. Is that what we eat at house? No.
Not
a
at all.
naan is never made in a North Indian household, right? And nor is a tikka masala or butter chicken made.
Never. It's too rich. Itna kaun khayega roz.
There you go. Then again, this Taftoon was again an obsession. I was like, let's do things right. Again, if I don't have a reason to do a restaurant, I won't do it just to make money. Like, there has to be a strong, solid reason, right? And I just happened to meet Milan Gupta, before that. I'm going to come to it in a bit. Told him this idea, like, it's brilliant. You're absolutely right. Like, where is the litti chokha of the world?
Yes.
Right? Where is a gola and steamer curry? Where is a gushtaba, rishta? These are all North Indian dishes we're talking about. So, like, you know what? How now? If you see North India, it's like 5 countries, and it's 7 countries in itself, right? Starting from, like, literally Haryana, from Pakistan, and comes to all the way Bangladesh, right? There's so many countries, and crossing through all the northern states of India. And, like, how do you capture the entire North Indian food in one concept? Correct? Yeah. And so we thought, like, the only way I knew it, there's a road. There has to be a road that passes through all these, literally horizontally crosses through these subcontinents, I would say. So we saw this GT road, correct? I mean, a lot of people say, oh, Silk Route and all. Like, no, this is GT road, not Silk Route, bahut purana ho gaya. So it starts from Afghanistan. And now why I chose this road is because pretty much what we eat in north of India comes to us from the west, right?
Yes.
From the northwest frontier. The Persians brought in their culture, right? And that's why if you see, bread is heavily eaten in the north and not in the south.
Yeah.
It's more Dravidian culture, right?
Correct, because that's rice.
Yeah, because Persians made Delhi the capital, and then that's why the food was around it. Yeah. So, like, you know what, let's take this road, Afghanistan, and then crosses through Pakistan, then enters India through Punjab, and then, Delhi, UP, West Bengal, and ends in Bangladesh, right? Yeah. This is pretty much North India, and we'll do anything around this road, around this road, and we'll stick to the regionality when it comes to food. We won't do commercial version of food. Now, that is also a big problem, you would agree. India, North India, specifically North India, and that's why I love South Indian food. North India has 2 versions of food. It has a commercial version of food, right, which people do never cook at the house, but we sell. We like cream. मेरे घर पे आज तक cream नहीं देखा है मैंने. Simple, right? There's no cream.
I don't understand the reason for cream to exist.
Thank you. Somebody just taste cream. It doesn't taste anything. It just gets a body to a cream. You're like,
but there's so many ways to get that body.
Thank you. Yeah, only open a restaurant. I'm telling you. That's the right thinking.
नहीं बाबा मैं मेरे numbers और Excel sheet में मैं खुश हूँ.
Yeah, I'm glad you straight went to the Excel sheet. No glamour of it. No, so, I swore that I'll do the regional version. I won't marry the commercial. That means there will never be a chicken tikka masala or a patiala or butter chicken or anything of that sort. A jalfrezi, for example, a made-up English dish, right?
A literally made-up English dish.
So, this won't exist. I will do the real North India. Yeah. And that's why Taftoon happened. Nice. It's an ode to the regional cuisine, and that's why I'll take pride in selling a litti chokha.
Yeah.
Why was a dish like litti chokha not gone? I mean, it's only gone viral like in last 2 years.
I would say just like the last year,
Yeah.
because essentially on Instagram Reels, somebody said something and then it
It
went
is
viral.
healthy, it is brilliant, easy to cook. Earthy represents India in its true form. That is India. I must take pride in it. And I mean, I don't know, on the record, the highest selling dish in Taftoon is actually litti choka.
Oh, really?
And you know who eats it? Koreans and Japanese.
No.
It's such a sight to see them eat litti choka. They have no clue what they're eating, but they're eating litti choka. So, anyways, that's how Taftoon happened. It was a note to the regional cuisine of the GT road, and yeah. I'm glad a person like Chef Milan Gupta
Yes, I was coming to that.
came on board to that. And again, a very simple story. How we met through a contact, met him for a coffee. And this guy like, okay, like you did a restaurant for 5 years, you're running. And he had heard about Oye Kake. Like, I heard good things about Oye Kake. Like, you have no restaurant background. Let me just come there and see what you're doing and how you're doing. He came to Oye Kake, the first one, the fourth one. He saw the size of the outlet, he saw the kitchen, and all he did was just took a spoon and had the dal makhani.
Just one thing.
Just one thing, dal makhani. I'm like, no way, you don't have a restaurant background, you've done that. Sorry, sir. I haven't done this dal makhani. Ustads have done it. But yes, I engineer the menu. Like, I tell them, I set the boundaries. Like, do not put unnecessary cream or butter in anything. Like, this is not how Amritsar rolls, right? Maybe now it rolls like that because now they've got influence seeing the butter and cream from everyone. They're doing it. They're spoiling their own food. And
But
he said, you know what?
makhan is important. No, the
White
makhan.
butter.
White makhan.
Unsalted butter. Yeah, there you go. Brilliant. Wow. Open a restaurant, I'm telling you.
No, I just like eating. That is the only difference.
No. So he said, dal makhani, like, you know what? Whatever you want to do, we'll do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a...
Yeah. And then, there was a day one in Milan. And then, of course, we conceptualized Taftoon together. And this man, I tell you, he's god of Indian food.
Please tell me
He's just
more.
the guy. He doesn't come out. He doesn't come out. Doesn't face the screen. He's not a big social media tech savvy guy. But then, when Milan cooks, it's like a painting. The way he talks, it's like a F&B poem that has not been recited ever. Right? He's that kind of a guy. And
it's culinary art.
His understanding about regional food is insane. I would say he's second to none.
Really?
It's just that his PR game isn't that strong. Like, I keep telling people, like, if you tell me, like, I can meet the best of the best celebrity chef.
Yeah.
Right? It's not that I mean, Milan and me, we're not working at the moment because he's taken out some projects. But then, let's see, we might just work again. Yeah, I so want to work again. Yeah, he's God. That's where I'll end it there. When it comes to Indian food, I wouldn't, if I had a lot of money and I had to open like 10 restaurants, I'll do all 10 restaurants with him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You should head his PR. I'm telling you.
No, it's not just Indian food. He actually unlocked a box in me that was always there.
Okay.
Right? I always thought, okay, I always had an approach to food. I'm like, no, listen, when I worked with him, I realized, wow, he just changed my perspective about Indian food, and not just North India. I'm just telling you, North, South, East, West.
How did you do that?
The same commercial in the regional version, right? It was always like, I used to always like, why aren't we doing food right? Why aren't we doing food right? And this guy, chatting with him, researching with him about food, I realized he's right. South India, the reason South India food, if compare North India, South Indian food is very well spread globally.
It is.
The reason is, South Indians sell what they eat at home. Like an idli, a dosa, or a kori roti, or a puli bhaji. It is sold.
And the same thing you'll find in a South
in
Indian
the
home.
South Indian home.
Yeah.
That is it. He just nailed it. You're absolutely right, chef. And then this is so true. One of the reasons, South India triumphs because, they are not doing anything else. They have kept cream and butter and all of it. It's not there.
You find all this genie dosa and all here in Bombay.
Let me not start here again. That will be my filter will go off. Then I'll start ranting about, and then I'll really disappoint them.
But that's true, right? Like, you don't have, like, now for example, my mother-in-law doesn't understand butter on a dosa. Because she's like...
Ghee.
It's like what? Like maximum she'll put is ghee. She's like, ghee is also not required. Why? There's a nice cast iron tawa is there. You don't need...
That's the magic, yeah.
It's like, why you need...
There you go. That kind of thinking. He invoked that thinking and we're like, you know what, chef, thank you. And that day onwards, it changed. It was always in there, and that perspective changed. And then I got obsessed. He got me into books. My knowledge was all internet. I like, whenever there's an advice, whenever you do menu engineering, right, leave the internet aside. It's all the knowledge is in the book. Was pick 5 books and they just do your menu engineering there. Read about the cuisine, read about the region. That is much more deeper and better understanding, right? And this is all thanks to Milan Gupta. So,
Did you travel a lot to
I have traveled.
research?
I have traveled that entire this thing, of
That
course.
belt.
For obvious reason, not Afghanistan or Pakistan. I still wish to be an Indian citizen.
Yeah.
But then we've traveled to the last edge of Bangladesh, literally, where you can see the Bangladesh border.
Oh, wow.
But we've done everything in that, whatever we're serving at Taftoon, we've traveled that entire route. Different Milan has traveled at this time, I've traveled at mine.
Nice.
But yeah, that is how Taftoon happened. Yeah, it was actually a result of insane amount of research.
But any good venture or any kind of, I think, successful or I would say well thought of project has a lot of research behind it, right? Because other than that, how do you stay true to the idea or how do you get it right?
No, I agree. And like, especially for us as a company, that is so important.
Yeah, because that's, I think, what I'm getting from you is that that's the soul of your company. It's not anything else. It's not fancy. It's not something that you want to sell to the whole world. You want to bring what is there just out.
Yeah.
And you want to be true to what is out there.
Yeah. And yeah, with the right reasons, when I decided to enter the restaurant industry in 2011 and we did a successful product called Oye Kake. This was the time when restaurants were still coming in. We got so many offers. Let's do a nightclub. Let's do this. Let's do that. I'm like, what is the reason to do it? Let's do a shisha place. That was the time the shisha was booming.
Yeah, oh my God.
I don't know.
Those places were everywhere.
I can't do it, man. I don't know. I know I'll make money, but I will never be happy inside.
Yeah.
So, some people like you waste a lot of time doing restaurants, like research restaurant. Like, I don't know. It's like, it's good to fall down when you know you've given everything.
Yeah.
Right? Just to
Very
know that
true.
it's like, I'll take that fall bravely. For me, it's important than all the research and all.
Before we come to Kerala Quarters, because of course that's the logical next step because we've already covered the North Belt. Now we're coming down south. Before we come to that, just because you said this one particular line, so I know that a couple of people have gone on social media and said, like, very successful investors, etc. The top 5 industries I would never invest in, or top 5 businesses I would never open. No, matlab, it always happens that top 3 में restaurants आता है.
Top 3 में मेरे को तो लगा number 1 restaurant आता है. Are you kidding me?
Usually yes, but I would say top 3 में. मतलब if somebody doesn't say it at number 1, top 3 में तो आ ही जाता है. So why do you think that is? And do you agree कि नहीं करना चाहिए लोगों को restaurants?
I think you should do restaurants, right? But like I said, you should have a strong reason why you're doing it, right? If you are in it for the sheer glamour of it, or if you have that understanding that restaurant margin are 200%, right? Then take that money and put it in charity. Don't open a restaurant because none of this is true, right? If you have that very myopic understanding of when you see a restaurant menu, like, oh, they're selling a dish for $600. ये तो इसमें तो 50 रुपए लगेंगे बनने में, and then 600% margin. I'm like, boss, don't do it.
You don't know what's gone behind.
No, just don't do it. I mean, a consultant or restaurateur won't even waste time explaining
That's
you,
true.
right? Some people have rightly said if you have an enemy and if you really want to hurt him the most, Nikhil Kamath, like, ask him to open a restaurant. It's true. I think a lot of people, when they open a restaurant, they don't know why they are doing it.
Yeah.
That's a big question. On an average, I'm obliged to meet, cannot say no. Like, hey, my son wants to open a restaurant. My brother wants, can you see him for an hour?
Yeah.
Like, I just start and end with one question. Why?
Why? ये podcast सुना दो उनको, then it'll be
Even
fine.
in 1 hour, I know this will solve it. Like, boss, ये सुन ले, इसके बाद
उसके बाद आना.
I just ask them one question. Why do you want to do it? And I end with again, why do you want to do it?
Correct.
And if the reason is not passion, right?
Then
you don't have enough passion. Don't get into it, because if there's no passion, this
You
will
won't
drain
survive,
you
yeah.
out. I mean, the problems are endless, and the biggest of the biggest stalwarts have fallen.
Very true.
And so just know. And if you have a lot of money, and then do it.
Then you can do anything.
Generate employment. Do it.
Generate employment. I love it. Okay, so moving on to Kerala Quarters. That we started last year?
Yeah.
Okay. So in 2024, we've kind of moved down south and brought regional Kerala cuisine to Mumbai. Tell us more. How did that happen? Where did the idea come from? Again, आपने वहाँ से कोई chefs उठा के आप ले आए हो? Like, what is the situation?
That is the best tarika, the
Yeah?
best way to do.
Basically, आप जाओ और chefs उठा के ले आओ.
Like what? Yeah, I mean, what influences that place? Toddy shops, the color shops of Kerala, right?
Yeah.
I got slammed. And actually, you know what? There's something else over here. I've realized I like picking out places where the people are very obsessed and possessive about their food. Malayalis are so possessive about their food. You know where it's coming from? You understand the background, as annoying as it may sound, but then you know what? As annoying as they may sound, but it's coming from passion.
Yeah.
They're very passionate about their culture,
And their food.
That is enough reason for me to dwell in.
He's like,
I
"Bas."
will take it. I like to jo sunana sunao. I'll just take it. Similarly, Bengalis with Taftoon, right? Bengalis are very possessive. My way or highway, shut up. Biryani last, so biryani is last. Khadam. So, that is enough reason for me to dwell into their cuisine and have that, very healthy / very abusive debate. And anyways, no, so yeah, their possessiveness, their sheer passion on food, I'll dive into this cuisine. Also, I have a very soft feeling for entire, I love South Indian food.
Yeah, you said this multiple times already.
I love South Indian
He's like, "Bas, South Indian khana de do."
to an extent, I'll just I am craving a good sambar. I'll just go. I know all the spots. I'll just go to Matunga.
Matunga,
I know. And I won't just do a Madras cafe. I'll do all three. I'll do Ayyappa, Mysore, Madras, and just one Ramashray. Yeah, it's like that 5 a.m. queue at Ramashray.
And that queue is legit, huh? It's like a good half an hour, 45 minutes minimum at 5 a.m.
Love it.
There are people who would run for
I think
10
the day there is no
kilometers.
queue
and
over
then
there,
go
now that food will not hit me like that.
Right.
It's good to wait and then go inside that restaurant, right? So,
Like it's worth the wait.
no, so when I was researching on Kerala food. I just saw one thing, again in Bombay, although there are some really good Kerala restaurants, they're running for a couple of decades now, doing a fab job. What I realized what they're doing with Kerala, they're showing Kerala in a very serious spirit. They're not serious. They're most fun-loving people. They are the toddy shop guys. Give them toddy and they'll show you how it's done. They'll drink at 11 a.m. and show you how it's done. Let's bring that fun energy out, right? Yeah. And then also, it's not justified when Kerala cuisine was just a small bracket under umbrella of South India.
Yeah.
Like if you go to many restaurants in Bombay, there's a South India and Kerala, these small sections. Shut up. Kerala is from Malabar to, all the way, the Malabaris to the Brahmins to the Syrian Christian community. And all of this needs to come out.
Yeah.
And there is so much. Their food is so diverse. Yeah. As it moves to the south, now the spice level increases. The spice level goes down more towards the Malabar. Has a lot of Karnataka influence, and all of that. That is my obsession. I don't know if this hits the people the way I think, but then it hit me, and that was enough reason for me to do a Kerala restaurant.
You found your why.
I found my why. No, I 100% do this, and then why, and I how to bring the fun element. I realized Bombay has some amazing quarter bars. All of us at some point of time, I how to fix that, after college fun, drinking fun. Gokul, till date, I won't lie. We still go to, there you go.
Place in our heart. Gokul to
Gokul, Janta, there are brilliant quarter bars in town. You know what? Quarter bars also need an upgrade. Like if the quarter bars were upgraded, I would still be like, like very loyal.
100%.
Like once a week, hey, like let's start a pre-game at this quarter bar and then let's move ahead.
100%. Things are so expensive in like other places. Like I love that. Like let's pre-game at Gokul or Janta and then we'll meet XYZ place.
Although we restaurateurs are always against pre-game because, yeah, it hits us, but then we also do it. The restaurateurs also do it for pre-game. So anyways, idea was to let's urbanize these quarter bars in a very simple way. And let's marry it to Kerala, regional Kerala food.
Lovely.
So a lot of people said, hey, Kerala Quarter is a progressive take. I'm like, nope.
There's no progress. मेरे को नहीं करना progression.
Kerala people do not give damn about plating. I'm like, boss, यही हमारा खाना है. खाने तो खा. And I love that. You know what?
Yeah.
Every time food is unpretentious now,
Yeah.
they have my heart.
Yeah.
Right? And again, quarter bars, unpretentious. If they're playing Darde Disco पीछे चल रहा है.
And then the Shezwan Chakli is there.
Oh. Wow,
He's like, बस अभी चाहिए 11 बजे चलेगा. No problem in the morning.
Next time actually consider that.
है ना?
Shezwan and Chakli. And then, nice. No, yeah. So yeah, that's how Kerala Quarters happened. Regional Kerala food in a nice quarter bar setup.
Yeah.
Like, let's bring this to life. Initially, the plan was to do in South Bombay. But then we actually had an infra ready, as Cirqa dining room.
Yes.
Right.
I want to get to that as well.
Yeah.
But we skipped from the north to the south, so then we'll come back to Cirqa.
Okay, yeah. No, fair enough. So this is, I got my why, Kerala Quarters. And it's pretty much my journey, I've been to Kerala. I enjoy Kerala. I've been to all these quarter bars.
Yeah.
So it's just some memory of my life.
Nice.
Just
like
laying it on
showcased.
the table and just marrying two things. Correct? This is what I've lived and I understand this. I understand both this vibe and I'll do it. Right?
I love it. It's literally like a piece of you,
Yeah.
piece of your heart.
I think all the restaurants are,
Yeah,
it is.
they really are.
And that's, I think, that is the right, I would say, that is the right thinking behind a restaurant.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm the god of restaurants. This is my way of doing this. Think all your thoughts on the table.
Yeah.
You've lived. Because, when you live something, you will stay true to it. You'll be passionate about it.
Very true. And then it's an experience that you can kind of, showcase to other people. And when people come there, then they experience that. Because otherwise, there's no fun. There's nothing to kind of remember.
Get a chef, put some money. You don't know what the chef is cooking. And then one fine day, the chef has some issues with you. You have some issues. It's gone now. Passion was never
gone.
there. So it's gone. What you end up doing is, you just rake up the rental prices. That's what has happened in the last 7-8 years,
So angry about that.
Not me. I mean, any legit restaurateur who's been there, it's so difficult for us to find a space now.
Yeah.
Because influx of a lot of unaccounted money.
It's crazy.
People just think extra paisa to restaurant kholo. But, just lock at the right rental. The other thing is there's all you need in the lease market is, one outlier deal to happen.
Yeah. And then
it does not make any sense. And landlord is just
ruins everything
waiting
else,
for one outlier deal to happen and we'll set that as a market benchmark. Yahi hai rate.
Landlords तो रुके हैं ना उनके लिए तो this
मत
is...
शुरू करो यार मुझे landlord से
Okay, so coming back, avoiding that topic and coming back to Cirqa. So that Cirqa was started in 2023, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
And what was the idea behind that? What was your why? Now I know what question to ask. What was your why?
Yeah, lovely. And there's a beautiful why on this also. Just in 2019, I was in London and I was at a boot sale. That's what I do. That is my vibe. I'll just, when I'm traveling, I'll just find yahan par koi boot sale bhanga. Basically, sophisticated word is boot sale. It's like kabada. Bangar kabada kaam mil raha hai.
Correct.
And I like to go just shop around these things.
Yeah.
And I just came across this book. It was it's a cocktail book. It's a very old cocktail book. I like, what? Let me just take it. I just paid 20 quid for it. And then, of course, COVID happened. And it was lying somewhere in my cupboard.
Yeah.
And like, oh, wow, I bought this thing a year back. And let me just see what's happening with this book. And I Googled about this book. And then I found some copies inside there. And that book was actually a 1904 print.
Oh, wow.
Very, very, very old cocktail book. Damn. Right? One of the first prints actually of a particular mixologist publishing a book. Googled online, actually, there was a few lakh rupees that book so bought. And
no.
Yeah, I'm serious. Still have that book, it's nicely framed and kept actually at Cirqa. I like, what? This is so cool. And, and I like, what? I'm going to do a cocktail bar.
Nice.
I have to do a cocktail bar.
Yeah. Again,
right?
from your experience.
Yeah, it's a good part of me. Like when I opened that book around COVID, काम ही नहीं था ना COVID में. So like, let's go through all our bhangar and then let's read. And like, that was such a nice book. I'm like, why haven't I done a cocktail bar yet? And like, again, that's an obsession. When I say cocktail bar, of course, there are a few the lovely classics that we love. Sorry, but then I think our city's knowledge about cocktails were like very limited to like 10 cocktails.
Yeah.
Right? And
which ones are your favorites? Your cocktail bars, classic cocktail bars in Mumbai?
Classic cocktails, which was my favorite? Anything old-fashioned, Manhattan.
Yeah.
These Negroni.
Yeah.
This is my job.
I love a good Negroni.
Negroni, yeah. There you go. I can live on a Negroni every single morning. I can, instead of water, I can brush with the Negroni.
Aye.
No, wow. I just made myself an alcoholic. No, I'm not. No. So you know what? We'll do a proper good cocktail bar. Now, obviously, cocktail bar was such a wave in the West, especially in England and all of Europe.
Yeah.
The washing techniques,
the
smoking techniques, the aging techniques, everything had come. The beautiful science had come. Fermentation had come into cocktails, right? Delhi had already done it, to be honest. The really good restaurants, bars in Delhi, likes of sidecars, PCO, are already doing it.
Yeah.
Bombay doesn't have. And I'll do it in Bombay. This will be my next concept. And I'll marry it with nice tapas style food.
Lovely.
And that's how Circa happened. Now I chose a year called 1960 over there.
Yeah,
right?
it's Circa 1960.
Yeah, because it's Circa. I knew when I call that concept, you know what? It's something about this concept tells me go in history.
Yeah.
When you say history, let's go some Circa.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, what's Circa? You know what, 1960. Why 1960? Because this was the year Bombay was actually the capital of the state. The state was formed 1st May 1960, right? You know what? And a lot of beautiful things happened. Yeah. Indian Airlines flight actually opened up to the world. First flight happened in 1960. Pretty much the rock revolution happened begin from 1960. This is enough. 1960 will be my year. Let's begin Circa 1960. And then that's how it came into inception.
Lovely.
Going ahead, we're going to change the year very soon.
Lovely. And usually you've had a few years between your restaurants, right? Because earlier there was Oye Kake, then Taftoon, then we have Circa. And now between Circa 1960 and Kerala Quarters, barely a year?
Yeah.
So was it happening parallelly in your mind?
No, so what happened, Kerala Quarters was right after Circa. I knew I had to go to South India. Enough because, after Taftoon.
Anyway, you were waiting for it.
Yeah, I was waiting. You have no idea. You have no clue how excited I was to be South Indian. Yes. After Taftoon, you know what, karna hai South Indian. And then it was going on right after we launched Circa.
Yeah.
But why it happened right below Circa was, this was supposed to happen in South Bombay. And then we realized for Circa to be a cocktail bar, we opened a pretty big space. And, I realized a cocktail bar has to be very intimate.
Yeah.
It has to be very small, not more than 20-25 covers, very bespoke service.
Yeah.
We like a good cocktail when we get to have a good chat with the mixologist.
Yes.
Mixologists, in my opinion, are the therapists. Yes. Having a bad day, go on a bar.
Yes.
Tell that person about their life.
Those traditional, I don't know, TV shows, etc., where you just go, you sit at the bar and then you chat with the bartender and you vent and there is some solution that comes to your mind and you're like, you know what, thanks. And then you go home.
There you go. That's exactly I thought the Circa. Because it's 2 levels. Circa was in 2 levels. So 1960 was always that intimate bar. But downstairs, what we did, we had a dining room, Circa dining room, and I thought, it's the metrics, the numbers did not was not making sense, to be honest, as a cocktail bar. Although Circa 1960 was doing fab, and the Circa dining room was not adding up because I realized Bombay needs to understand. In as minimal communication as possible, what is your product?
Yeah.
If you were successful in doing that, when the communication between you and your ultimate TG is kept at minimum, the chances of you successing in a concept are much, much higher.
Yeah.
Right? You know what? Let's pull the plug and let's come to terms with the situation.
Yeah.
There's no feeling bad about certain things. And you know what? Pretty much almost signed the lease in South Bombay for Kerala Quarters. Nope, let's pull that out and let's come here. We already have an infra. Yeah. And it was Kerala Quarters. That's one of the reason I called it Kerala Quarters. I don't
Because
need a tagline to say what the place is.
Quarter bar. And
There you go. It's Kerala, right?
Kerala.
And then I realized, it's self-explanatory.
Love it.
And that's how Circa and Kerala Quarters
happened.
came into existence. And Kerala Quarters 2 quarter bar. I told you it's urbanizing quarter bars. That means plugging in cocktails.
Yeah.
And we were blessed to have the entire Circa team right there in the same building. So the Circa team is insane when it comes to cocktails, and they're like, sir, we'll make the cocktails happen in quarter bars. So
Nice.
Actually, disguise and blessing, it happened in the same building.
Yeah. Nice. So you mentioned some numbers finally in this conversation.
Something that people want to hear. Numbers bowl. कब restaurant खोले कब बंद करें.
Exactly. So बता दो कब restaurant खोलना चाहिए कब बंद करना चाहिए.
So here's the thing, especially when you're opening a restaurant, the money is not going to come back easy. Just know that for sure, right? Don't get fooled about 1 year, maybe we'll take it back 2 years. Maybe. Of course, there are certain outlier performance on the graph where you can make the money back in a year and a half too, right? Those are outliers. That is not the mean of business. Idea is forget about the money that you've put in.
Okay.
Forget about the money that you've put in the F&B industry, because you know what? Only then you'll be able to perform at your merits. Because if you have the stress of money going on back of your mind, right? When to understand, if you've put in the money, right? The only thing that can bring it back is the sheer performance.
Yeah.
So don't get obsessed over it, right? I mean, in my terms, I would say record it as a bad debt. It's gone.
Damn.
It's actually, you know what? It wasn't this bad. It just got worse in the last 7-8 years. Right?
Okay.
Now I think the best, if I don't think like that, I won't be able to open a restaurant.
Yeah.
Like, I have to wipe it like, boss, it's money gone.
It's gone.
Yeah. Now we'll try our best. We'll give our best.
Next.
We'll be consistent every single day. And then
What has changed so significantly in the last decade?
the attrition has gone up. The cost of operation is leapfrogged on a higher level.
Is it after COVID that all of this
The movement had begun actually before COVID, to be honest. And after COVID, of course, a lot of people ghar baithe baithe thought they can be restaurateurs. And more restaurants opened up. We just thought, around COVID, okay, you know what?
Yeah, because there was no dhanda during COVID, right? For restaurateurs. It was completely shut.
Yeah, we thought, this will filter out a lot of restaurants.
Yeah.
It did, just for a temporary time. But then 3x more restaurants just showed up in the market, and then the rental just kept going up.
Yeah.
So what has happened? The cost of operating a restaurant has got very high. The electricity has gone high. The staff cost has gone high. The rentals have gone like ridiculously high. And then now, we have this concept of revenue share with the landlords, where just a pure rental is not enough.
They want a cut of the profits as well.
Yeah, so if you're seeing an upside, that upside is not totally yours. You have certain things pegged to your rentals, right?
Damn.
So it just got more and more expensive, right? So you just have to be so crisp in your planning, so crisp in your product, your strategy.
Yeah.
If you have any gray zone, any vague zone, boss, they're gonna hit you so hard. Like I say, a downside of a restaurant is so bad, like in a 3-4 months, bad months are enough to wipe you off. Your capex of like 2.5-3 crores is 4 bad months and you're out.
Damn.
Yeah. So it's very vulnerable, no?
Yeah.
That's why the man rightly said, if you have an enemy, ask him to open a restaurant. So that is, and when do you exit a restaurant, right?
The more interesting of the questions.
When you don't see any reason, right? When you don't have a clear picture for next 6 months, right?
That time.
And the first thought in your mind is, I'll tell you, when you do a restaurant, usually the first thought that comes to your mind is right. If it's good or bad, I always think, if
go with your gut.
Go with your gut, because if you opened it, or you and your partner opened it, and the first thought, if the ship is sinking down, and the first thought in your mind is like, I don't have money, I think it's better to shut down. No, but wait, no. End there. Don't go to the but wait. Literally. Save that time, save that energy. Because if in the last 6 months you haven't made any significant progress on your numbers, your I think that was enough result. You won't don't expect things to, this is Bombay, this is 2025. Save that time and energy, come back again, save it. I'll tell you, the chances of successing in a restaurant, being successful in a restaurant is much higher when you failed in some concept. Then it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Come to terms with that. A lot of people, drag it, but they feel like, Arey, we opened with so much hard work. What will people think? No, it's just, you'll be happy. You'll just realize, oh wow, deep breath, it's gone. Right? So never feel shy about closing down a restaurant. Like I said before, stalwarts have done it. In the industry.
Oh, very true. We were talking to Viraj Bahl from he's the newest Shark on Shark Tank. He proudly says that he's a failed restaurateur. He had a restaurant business that failed, and he still has it on his LinkedIn profile. Failed restaurateur, really. And then he's like, कि अगर मैं वहाँ पे fail नहीं होता, तो मुझे वो sauces का idea नहीं आता, and then Viva नहीं होता. I'm like, wow.
No, it's true.
ये तो interesting है, बहुत interesting.
It gives you crazy amount of learning.
Yeah, it really does.
Also, no, it's an industry that is never gonna die. It's F&B we are talking about, and also, correct. खाना है. और लोग in India, the population is just going up. So don't worry. Every 2-3 years, you have a new set of people that are coming to eat, right? So it's never late to open a concept. I strongly believe. Some people are like, oh, I've thought this idea in my head. What if someone else opens it?
Yeah.
Don't get bothered about the thought.
Yeah.
Because this is 2025. This is India.
Yeah.
There's never late to open a restaurant.
Yeah.
Right? Open it when you're ready, when you have the money, you have the disposable income, right? Then open it. Like, don't go out of the way to open a restaurant.
So one last thing that I really I'm curious about. We've talked about the restaurant business in terms of that lots of people who want to open restaurants and how it's difficult in that landscape. But what about the people who are your customers? How are they evolved in the last, let's say, decade? What are they demanding? What do they want? Are there expectations, experiences, whatever they kind of demand from you? Has that changed, and how?
It is. I would say it's massively changed, and I would say let's not talk about decade. Let's focus like recent future, like after COVID that has happened, right? I think the consumer behavior pattern is like leapfrogged straight. It hasn't like progressively grown. It's leapfrogged. The demands, the expectations have like wow. Because also, they are so well aware after all the traveling, after all the exposure, and all of a sudden, if you see last 3 years, digital media exploded with food and food ideas and food culture around the world, right? So it's not alien if you talk any particular food science or a food technique to our customers. They are well aware what they're into. So be ready. They're going to teach you things or two, right? So that means it's, for us, it's been more complicated than ever. Right? Because they exactly know what they want. The disposable income has increased. The loyalty actually has come back. That is a good thing that has happened. They've realized.
Interesting.
There was a phase before COVID. Restaurants are opening.
There was no loyalty.
There's no loyalty. Right? The loyalty has come back, and that's why you see players who've been in the industry for a decade. Right now, they're happy about it because when they've realized, the customers realize, okay, these are my set of good restaurants, but I don't want to experiment. I have some guests I want to entertain. I'm going to stick to these. Right? There are new restaurants opening. Let other people go and experiment, and then so I would say in that pattern they've become more aware. They're doing more conscious eating. They are
not happy about this.
They are doing extremely conscious eating. They are posing the concept of like unnecessary fat in your food, cream, butter, kyun hai, and then which I like, to be honest. I'm loving that sort of awareness.
That's working for you.
And it changes. If it's every 3, 4, 5 months, the expectation changes, and now I think they've become more experience centric. They love being. It's no more about just selling a product, taking the money. It's about how you making that difference with your hospitality. Right. That is what's gonna make them keep coming back, and they expect it. They expect the name to be called, reminded, hey, I'm coming here again, and then it's.
They want to know the story behind it.
To it's
be involved in the experience, not just ki aao khao jao.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think now what we're dealing with is a more mature, a very, very mature set of people, right? If a product is good, trust me, the chances of you successing in this market is much, much higher, right? They cannot be fooled. Let's be very clear. No Instagrammable restaurants can fool these, and that's why you've seen a massive shutdown of all these Instagrammable restaurants, right? And let's just hope. I'm in for this. Let's just hope it stays this way and only gets better.
Yeah.
It'll only make us work better up,
100%.
Yeah. Man, right there and beautifully garnished.
And the nice smell just like in the air.
Do it at Cirqa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, actually, we can make it
very
happen over there. Sound and all is no problem. It's all closed windows, so.
Even better. No stress.
Come visit actually,
100%.
I'd like to do it. Yeah.
Okay, so just one finance related question that I had, since we've like a little bit diving into numbers. How do you, as a restaurateur, how do you fund your restaurants? Is it like you take a loan from the bank, you go from borrow it from family, you raise it from, I don't know, friends? What is the whole situation like?
Wow. So it's different for different restaurateurs, at what point of what journey they are in, right? Are they opening a second outlet, third outlet, fourth outlet? But say prima facie just one restaurateur, a guy wants to open a restaurant. I personally have always preferred sticking to debt over equity. That means, I've chosen banks to fund me, and various credit facility available, overdraft, short-term loans, all of that, because I'm sure about my product, with all that research I was telling you, I know this will come back, right?
Yeah.
And when you have that kind of confidence, I would say stick to debt, because I think equity is very expensive in longer run. Especially, I told you, I'm in a business of making brands, right? With that sort of mentality, equity is going to be expensive for me to dissolve at this stage. So
because you're looking at what, not a 5-6 year time horizon, right?
There you go. If I'm sticking 10 years, 15 years, my brand's going to stay, then I better, I keep my equity to me.
Yeah.
And then I
don't want to part with your equity then.
I stick to debt. If you're sure your product is good, always debt, right? That's one way of funding it, and it's always going to be a mixture of few things. Of course, family borrowings trumps everything. Family and friends borrowing. Don't feel ashamed, because you know what, it's and they're there for you. So take any free money that you can raise it. I have a simple rule. Don't feel bad about it. I have a clear intention of paying it back, right? Yeah. And thirdly, when you open a restaurant, there'll all be creditors. Have great relationship. You have no idea. Literally, you can and I don't probably no restaurant talking about it, but everyone does it. To an extent of 20% of the capex can actually come from the creditors.
Oh wow!
From your turnkey projects, from your vendors, and all of that. Just keep their payments on hold for 2, 3, 4 months with a clear intention, right? Yeah. And clear it. They will support you, because in long run you're going to support them. You're going to stick to them for 10 years, right? Yeah. So mixture of this, it makes it very simple, right?
They're going to love this answer.
But when you talk of one big number, right? Like how do I arrange this? But it's possible.
Nice, great. So I think our audience has gotten so much value from this conversation. Anybody who wants to open a restaurant and doesn't know why, I think they're going to rethink and reassess.
As they must know.
As they must, yes. As they must. Thank you so much, Pankaj, for taking out the time and coming here and talking to us about your incredible journey. It was really lovely. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Sayali.
Everybody, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the chat today. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in the next one.